Do-Rag Wisdom here, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Y2K 20.10.14, 20 days out from our election. Fake Senate impeachment trial, no vindication, no adjudication, no exoneration. Repeat, get this traitor out of our government, please. Music in the background is by the great James Bernard, which includes Curse of Frankenstein and Horror of Dracula. Note, if the Trumpists succeed in seating the right-wing maggot that they have picked to succeed Judge Ginsburg, there's going to be years and years of pain in this country. As Bob Marley sang, stand up for your rights. Stand up. Don't give up the fight. Stand up for your rights. Stand up for your rights now. And make sure you plan your vote and vote. The tumor on the anus of our White House is, among other things, a braggart. Read Woodward's latest book on Trump called Rage, in which he interviews the narcissistic sociopath. I was gratified to see that our stalwart reporter actually printed the edited transcripts of his extensive interviews with the creature, Crumb Bum Trump. And among other things I saw was what a braggart, once again, the creep is. I can imagine how many times Trump brought up the lovely pictures he had taken with fellow dictator. Trump is just a wannabe at this point, dictator-wise. Some Yummy Kimmy. He loves Yummy Kimmy. They wrote love letters of North Korea. I can't even imagine sitting in front of Trump as Woodward did. But that is what made him and makes him a consummate professional in the art of journalism. I've noticed how much Trump has bragged over his 4 years of hate week, how much he has crippled the ACA, the Affordable Care Act, and most especially he's bragged how he has eliminated the despised individual mandate. He bragged about this recently in one of his super spreader events. There is something extremely Orwellian about all of this. I know, because as you all know, and who's been following this page, I've read 1984 over 60 times, even more, throughout my lifetime. It's my Bible. The novel introduces the reader to the principles of ACA, the totalitarian system in charge of one of 3 superstates, Oceania in this case. Those principles include the mutability of the past, doublethink, and newspeak. If the past is mutable, it means that it is subject to revision at the behest of the dictator. You hide that you have revised the past by forcing citizens to brainwash themselves with doublethink, and you make them think less by making them use and think in something called newspeak. INGSOC, which stands for English Socialism, is a newspeak word. Understanding the Orwellian principles being practiced now by our dictator wannabe, you only have to look at the history of the Affordable Care Act. So look at this thing. It began as a conservative plan, friends. A conservative health care plan from the mind of Republican Senator and good human being Bob Dole, and was successfully implemented by Mitt Romney when he was governor of Massachusetts, and then called Romney Care. It contains something called the individual mandate. Individual responsibility is a guiding principle of conservatism. Individual responsibility. President Obama adopted the conservative health care plan model with some tweaks and kept in the important individual mandate. Reminder, Trump's bragging, he got rid of that. A conservative principle. Obama endeavored to work across the aisle. He, like Clinton, wanted to prove to his conservative opponents that he could do a little right-wing dance too. Because, you know, with Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act, Romneycare, etc., the insurance companies were still involved. Obama and Clinton were moderates after all, but Clinton disgustingly more so. So if the ACA was supposed to be a compromise to conservatives, so why didn't they accept it? Why didn't they embrace it? And when Trump brags that he has eliminated the individual option of the ACA, he has rewritten history, revised it by obfuscating the fact that the plan came from the mind of a conservative in the first place. Only if you can expertly use doublethink, you can successfully forget the truth and replace it with a lie. Note, I am thankful that I've read Orwell's masterpiece and studied it because it has prepared me for what we've been dealing with. There's only one reason besides the fact that the righties are supporters of vast corporate control. Their own conservative plan. Because the one who picked it up, the one who did things with it and used it on a federal level, the person that used it was the wrong color. I say this with sincerity, ladies and gentlemen. I know when to play the race card. And concerning what violates the GOP right now and its conservative principles is that the party has drifted away from Lincolnism and has adopted the program advocated by the, ironically enough, Democratic Party Dixiecrats, who are incensed that Johnson supported the Voting Rights Act, which this Supreme Court hobbled. Racism never died in the wake of the election of our first black president. It erupted out of the volcanic hatred it has harbored since the first white people stepped foot in the so-called New World. Honorary Grand Wizard of the KKK, the High Klan Klops himself, Trump, has been monomaniacal about overturning everything, every executive order that Obama accomplished in his term as our president. Every bit of legislation, from environmental to protections against pandemics to the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. The only thing that he wants now, because he hasn't succeeded yet, is to break the main Obama legacy, that bit of conservative principle that Obama borrowed, that was the framework of what became the Affordable Care Act. He wants to destroy that, its individual mandate, everything. The KKK, Nazi, Trump, bastard. In dragging down Obamacare, and if you understand the actual history of that idea, Trump was spitting on conservative principles and covering it up with doublethink and newspeak. How Orwellian can you get? I personally have no problem with Medicare for all, and I have no problem with the ACA, and wish it were more liberal, because I personally despise the insurance companies. And I have what's called the Cadillac of coverage, and I still hate the insurance companies. I have an absolute problem, however, with demagogues who misrepresent themselves with snake oil insinuations and big mouth bullying. I really get pissed off when I see these dictator creeps adeptly using Orwellian techniques where most people are unaware of it to their peril. And keep in mind that with Trump's rejection of the individual mandate of the ACA, he proves time and again that he is not a classic Republican and definitely not a conservative. Using Orwellian techniques as he does, Trump is nothing but a totalitarian, and his present party not Republican, but Trumpist enabling obscenity. Please vote. Vote as if your life depended on it. It does, and your country's too.